Kibbitz, Love After Lockup
Definitely.
edition. My name's Brianna, and I'm here with Mary, my co-host as always. But today we have awesome special guests. It's Mike and Justine from Love After Lockup and soon to be Life After Lockup. So welcome to Kiki and Kibbitz. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't help but notice that you are matching, and I would like to point out that for the first time ever, so are Mary and I. In your honor.
Check this out. We are
Yes.
matching.
Looks good.
That is right.
I like
We're
it.
all
Okay,
fashion
okay.
icons up in this bitch.
Yes,
That's how we
fashion
roll.
icons
Mhm,
up in this
mhm.
bitch.
There
Okay,
you go.
in honor of Mr. and Mrs. Mills, we are fashion
That's right.
icons
That's
up in
right.
this bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how's everything going?
Everything's going really good. You know, we're enjoying ourselves. We're at a good point in our relationship and our life. So we're just really soaking it all up.
Yeah, I mean it's a dream come true. I can't even. Sometimes it's like unrealistic. You know, like you finally, especially for me, you know, like coming home and finally being with someone who loves you and reciprocates that love. You know what I mean? How you show it's a blessing.
Oh, you seem like you adjusted really quickly to the situation. I mean, we've seen a lot of couples where, someone gets out of prison and it really takes them a while to get back into life and to, get it back together. But you just seem to like snap into place. Is that just how you make it look? Do you make it look easy, or did you really feel that way?
Well, I was never really locked up, and I mean mentally. So like I was physically there, but my mind was elsewhere. So it was easy for me to keep my sanity and easy for me to keep my relationships with my wife, my kids, and everything. So when I came out, it was like, okay, now I'm back. It wasn't like I was institutionalized. You know what I mean?
And I feel like I really went above and beyond to make sure, he had everything that he could possibly need to make an easy transition. The kids were here, clothing, everything was set up for
she
him.
set
So
everything up.
he could just walk in and just kind of get back to life as easy as
The
possible.
snapback was real.
Yeah, you bought all his matching clothes. But this is exactly why, Mary, this is why I love these guys so much. And I'm like, Justine, I think you're awesome. And obviously we watched you on Love During Lockup too. But Michael, I'm just like a serious fangirl. Everyone knows it too.
Yes, she is
I am
really girl.
ridiculed for how much. But Justine, you can see why.
Yes,
So my question
I
is
do the
for
same
you
thing as
guys.
Thank you.
What made you decide to document your whole journey for the whole world to see? Like, what made you decide to put it out there? And whose idea was it? Was it your idea, Justine? It was his. Okay, I had a feeling it was his.
It was an idea that came to him through his Sally's girlfriend, who was a big fan of the show. So when he brought it to me,
did you watch the show, Mike, in prison?
No, so we didn't have the network. Pretty cool thing, right? The prison ended up getting the network after I was released, so that the prison could see, the prison I was in could watch the show. But so what had happened was I got on the phone with her one day and I was like, babe, you ever seen this show Love After Lockup? She told me, no, not really. I've seen like little things here and there, but I didn't watch it. I said, well, give it a look, because April, that's her name. She said that we would be good candidates for this show. I don't know. So Justine watched a few episodes. I called her later that day and she was like, it's really cool. The guys come home, da-da-da. So I said, hey, why don't we do it? And she was like, what? I said, yeah, why don't we do it? You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to show the world, like, I'm going to come home and do some things. And I want them to see what you've done. So it wasn't just about me. It was like, I want the world to see how you stood by my side all these years. And you made sure I had every single thing. There was nothing that went missed. And you also build an empire for me to come home to and continue. So it wasn't like I just came to a woman who was working a job, who couldn't pay her bills, who didn't take care of her kids. She did everything. And sometimes I ask her, I would look at her and say, how are you doing it? Like, how?
Yeah, how? Good
question.
I mean? How? I had that question too. Mary and I each have one child. I don't know how you managed to do what you do. You're a badass.
Thank you. I think, it all just boiled down to me being in the position where this is what I have to do and this is what we're doing. It was something I committed to. I wasn't going to turn my back on him. I wasn't going to leave him hanging. It was not the best point in his life. I know he needed not only someone to love him, but a friend as well. And I wanted to make sure I would be all those things for him. So there was no backing out for me.
It's beautiful. This had to be good for your career too, right, Mike? Like that's, I mean, if you need to be seen, you need to be seen. Like I admire that move, and I would have done the same thing in your position. I got side hustles, and like I make sure that I am visible all the time. So I mean, I think it was a great business move too. So,
of course, and you know, not only did I just jump at it because it was a TV thing. Like I did my research. I saw the crowd, the numbers. What are their time slots? So I felt like this would be beneficial because you just can't make a move because of views.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people who contact me to do songs with them, and they're offering ridiculous amount of money, and I don't do it because I don't like the records. So I'm not just gonna do something because, oh hey, I can get on, or this guy got views. I can get views if I do something with him. I honestly feel like when you put your passion behind what you're doing, you see better results.
Right.
You sound very analytical. It sounds like you have approached it in a very analytical fashion.
Right.
Yeah.
But guys,
I also applaud. I'm a big data person.
I just have a question when it comes to the filming experience, because this is kind of different because they're filming you and your family and like your personal moments. And Mike, with you coming out of prison, how did you adjust to all that, having cameras in your home and things like that?
Well, before I went to prison, I was around like a lot of other celebrities, and I was in and out of studios. I was filming. I was, shooting videos, doing documentaries, like things that I documented for myself. So I got real comfortable with having cameras around me because I was used to having them. And it was easier for me. But for my kids, that was the issue because they're not used to that. So now it's not only one guy. My kids are used to one guy coming around, following me upstairs. But now you got the mic guy, the assistant, the this, the that, the 3 camera guys, and it's like, what the hell's going on here?
And not only that, it's like you would be filming and stuff like that, but they really weren't as in it as they are now. Now they're getting mic'd up. Now they're getting noticed online in school. People are more in their business. So
how are they adjusting to that, Justine?
Yeah, how's that going?
I think it's been the craziest on my oldest daughter because now people want to invite themselves over. They want to meet us. She's seeing that people really aren't as genuine as she thought. So, she's let go of a lot of friends that really weren't in it for the right reasons. But, she's making the best of it. She also is very proud of us. She's proud of Mike for all the positive stuff that he's done being home. And she's proud of me for, the woman that I am, the mom that I am, the way I've held Mike down and all the stuff that we have going forward. Yeah.
For Mike, I mean, for the little ones, though, it's tricky because, like, for example, with Santana and Bentley, when I first came home, we discussed already all these things that we were going to do. We're going to watch these shows. We're going to do this. So when I came home, they expected it like
they were ready.
The first day, like, let's get to work now.
Right.
And when they seen all these cameras and stuff, they're like, hold up, what's going on? So it made it a little uncomfortable. Now, when my kids came by, I want to elaborate that my kids haven't seen me in 3 years prior to that. So now they're not able to be as vocal or as affectionate as they want because it's like, wait, the camera's right here. Don't hug me too tight. So that's the part that bothered me the most, was just like, I had to kind of morph into like, all right, well, we got to do this real quick. Once the cameras left, it was like everyone, all the floodgates open for everyone. It was hugs and kisses and stories and stuff. So, it's just been hard on the kids.
Right. They've been pretty mature and grown up about it. But on the last episode we saw, Justine, you were telling your kids that you were pregnant with a daughter, and that made your oldest very emotional. I really teared up about that. How is that going, and how is she doing? Because I'm sure a lot of this stuff affected her emotional state, right? Like there's a whole lot going on.
I think when it came to me announcing my pregnancy and when they asked me what I wanted. I knew somebody was going to feel away. I have 2 boys. If I wanted a boy, they were going to feel away. If I wanted another girl, she was going to feel away. I think that what really made her emotional is the fact that she knows the truth, and she knows that her and I have been through a lot together. There's no way that you can't go through a lot when you have a child that's 17 years old. So we've been through it together. We're so close. And there's a lot of other stuff that's going on. Like, she's preparing to graduate high school and she's moving on. So now she feels like, well, there's going to be someone else there when I'm not. And I feel like she thought she was going to miss out on a lot. And, you know, you didn't see in the clip when I took her to the side, I was crying also, because it's going to be a change for me too. My oldest daughter, my best friend in the world, is going to be leaving me. So you can never replace a person like that. You can't.
Yeah. And woman to woman, Mary and I just went through this, both of us. I mean, I went through it several years ago. She's going through it now. That is not trivial stuff. Like,
no,
when you're talking, whether you have other kids home or not, like, this is a big, important, weird milestone that changes everything. It's hard.
Yeah. So right now I'm trying to figure out how Kylie and I can remain as close as we've always been, with her not being in the house. And to be honest, this has been very hard on me. She just turned 18 a couple weeks ago, and it's been an emotional roller coaster for me.
You know, my daughter's reaction wasn't caught on film, but it was bad. You know what I mean?
Intense.
Because they're like, you know, my daughter's like, you know, hey, you know, what if it's a girl? Like, and the girls were the ones who took it the worst. Yeah, the boys are excited.
The boys were excited, right?
Yeah, but also this baby is living with you, and they're not living with you.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
That would be painful. Yeah.
So I asked my daughter, like, what did you want me to have? She's like, a boy. So I'm like, so now we're like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, they're still kind of concerned. Like, it's a little different, but they're still like, what is it? Because we don't know yet.
We don't know what we're having yet.
So are you guys going to do a gender reveal?
Yes,
we're gonna do one for sure. You know, we want to do all of the cool things. He missed out on a lot, you know, being away, and I haven't had a child in 10 years, so I want to do everything.
Do all the cool things.
Wow.
They didn't have really those gender reveals and all those cool things back then.
No,
they didn't.
Oh, no, we didn't do that.
So many cool things.
I just found out I was having a boy and cried privately to myself.
Yeah, me too. Right?
I was like, damn it.
So, Mike, I've been listening to some of your music, and I want to know who your old school hip hop influences are. Who was the first rapper you listened to, and you said, "Shit, I want to be like him"?
Tupac.
Definitely.
Tupac. I listened to Tupac. I remember I was 5 years old, and I remember my family was like, you're not listening to this. This is inappropriate. And it just made me want to listen to it more.
Absolutely.
And I remember grabbing the cassettes and just playing it real low and trying to recite the rhymes. And it was just like, after I got like, because I didn't know what rap was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But after I got like, okay, well, damn, he sounds like now this guy. Who is this guy, Biggie? And who is this other guy? And then I just grew a passion for it. I'm like, this is what I want to do. So ever since I was young, 9, 10 years old, I was already writing bars and emulating them, putting my hat to the side and rapping like them. And, my family is Dominican. The other side is Indian Guyanese. So where does hip hop fall in between that? You know what I mean? I'm listening to Spanish music all day. And if I go over here, I'm listening to music.
And Justine, how about you? What's your background?
My mother is white and my father is African American. So I'm a mix, but my mom is a whole bunch of things. But that's
my dad was the bridge and the gap, because my dad listened to everything. So when I got with my dad, he popped in the Tupac CD like, we're gonna listen. Don't tell your mom, but we're gonna listen to this. And that's where I got my artistic flair from, was,
I just have to add into this, just like fun fact. I got in big trouble when my kid was in first grade because he came in singing House of Pain lyrics. And I was like busted. They're like, we need to talk to you about your son and what he's listening to.
Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
Oops, sorry about that. Well, I didn't realize he was listening so closely.
Like, oops.
Exactly. Wow.
So,
So
guys,
how's your mom handling things?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I
about
love
your
Justine's
family.
mom.
My
Justine's
mom,
mom. I gotta know. Like she was pissed. I saw my mother there. I was like, I feel this. What how is that going? Is she better?
I think my mom was just in shock. My mom is a fantastic grandmother to not only my kids, but she's had the opportunity to be around his kids also.
She is wonderful.
She's great with that, but she's just one of those people that she's like shocked to the fullest by everything, and then she just feels the need to have to like, well, let me blurt out my point. I'm gonna let you all know how I feel. But as of now, she's very excited to be a new grandmother. She's happy. We're in a good place. That's my mom at the end of the day, regardless to what I say to her, what she says to me. I'm always going to have her back. That's my mother.
You can't help but notice your personality is a lot like hers,
Exactly.
which is not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. And Mike, how about your mom? Are things better with your
Yeah, how
mom?
about your mom?
My mom is Spanish, man. Like my mom, our Spanish moms are different.
You don't have to
like,
tell me about Spanish moms. I know about I'm married to a Spanish man. You don't have to tell me about Spanish moms.
You're never
understand
gonna be
that.
old
Thank
enough.
you.
To a Spanish mom, you are her little boy until she's gone. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
thank you. I know.
So but my mom, prior to me going to jail, I confided in my mom with everything. So like my mom was like, I would like, hey mom, where you at? I'm gonna scoop you up. And she'd sit in the car and be like, I gotta go bust this move. I need you to watch my back. That's how close me and my mother were.
Aww.
So, me coming home after all this time and now married and stuff like that, she's like, okay, well, hold up. Where's my space still? And I try to like, mom, listen.
For real. And she's like, well, that was hablar. So like she starts talking to you.
Not a day we don't speak.
I loved how you just put your hand up. You're like, no, that's rude.
Yeah.
We're not gonna leave Justine out of the conversation.
And I have so much respect for her that it's been situations where I'm extremely vexed or I'm going through something or I'm in the middle about to fight. And the minute I hear her voice, everything goes away. It's because I don't want to put my mother through that. So I just immediately, and she knows that. So she always tells me like, that's why I want to be so close to you, because if God forbid you're ever losing it, I want to be able to reach out and be like, hey, snap back. So, like I said, there's not a day that we don't speak. We speak every day. She calls me every day, and I tell her, now we got this FaceTime thing, Ma. I don't got to be where you're at because you can see me. So,
But you're that kind of parent too, because that was the first thing that really, like, when you really captivated me in your first interview, where you're like, I fell in love with being a father, and this has been the most painful thing for me to be away from my kids. Like, that was the moment I was like, fangirl. That was it. So I think you guys are both the same kind of parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that we go really hard for our kids. We love them very much.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You can tell.
So,
like
those
me,
are our kids.
when I was home before, I was doing a lot, especially in the streets, trying to pursue the music and stuff like that. So there were things that I missed out with my kids, but it was just because I felt like, well, I have to do this. For you to be where you're at, dress and live in this house and all that, I got to do these things. So I'm forced to miss certain moments. But sitting down in prison, I'm like, look, what did that do for me? Like, it made me miss out on certain moments, and I refuse to miss out on these moments going forward.
I think I bring a lot of that out of you too, because when he would call me, I'd be like, hold on, I'm yelling at the baseball game, or I'm running around from work to the dance class.
I don't know how she did it. I just don't know how she did it.
Very, very devoted. I don't care if I don't have anything, but my kids are going to be involved, and I'm going to be front row at every single event, no matter what. Is. So
yeah, you got your little honor student and all that stuff. Where's she going to school? Is it okay to ask? If it's private, don't tell. I'm like, so I was just so impressed that she's in all the AP classes, and like, you're killing it, girlfriend, for real.
Definitely. And I've pushed her to go as far as she can go, because I did not want her repeating mistakes that I made. I was very open with my daughter. We talk, we have a great relationship, and I really wanted her to do something different than I did. As of right now, she's not sure where she wants to go to college. She's had so many acceptances, and now we're just sitting down. We're fine-tooth combing the schools, and we're also thinking about where we want to be, so I can be close to my daughter.
Kid, man. Ever since I met Kylie years ago, like, she's just a wonderful kid. Like, Justine did so good. Like, you just did so good with her, because I see you in her. Like, when I see that she does little things, how responsible she is in certain situations, I know it's like your influence, and I'm always amazed by it.
Thank you.
She's a
Is your
stronger woman.
mom is your mom more convinced about Justine's mothering prowess now? Because that was like an uncomfortable moment when she's coming at you, and I'm like you, like who cares if you have a nose ring or tattoos? Like that means nothing. You better work your ass off in school, though. Like
Yes,
that's how we
so you
roll, you
know,
know. So is she
like
better with it?
yeah, because you know, my mom is from a different era. Obviously, you know, just like her mom is from a different era. What we do is
Maya.
unconventional. You know what I mean? They're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's not in chronological order to them, so it doesn't make sense. And I try to tell her, like, listen, you know how you do things, you see the results that you've had, and that's fine. You can't come into someone's life and tell them that they're doing something wrong. I don't see those results through her children. You know what I mean? I don't see Kylie pregnant or not going to school or, you know, hanging out with 7 different boys because she got a tattoo and she wants to show. That's not that girl. So for you to opinionate or even say something about someone's parenting when you don't know, because my mother didn't know at the time. She really didn't know. She knows you because she worked with you. She knows what you tell her, but she's not physically seeing. That's the first time that she's actually physically seen all of us together.
Right.
So it was inappropriate for her to voice that opinion, because you can have your opinion, keep it to yourself. If she wants to speak to me about it in private, I was all ears. But when
even me in private,
when you address her and then, you know, like, nah, that's not right. That's why I have to stand by her.
But
like,
also,
it wasn't right.
She's now seen me with her grandchildren. She sees the love that I have for them. She knows that I would do anything for them. His son lives with us, so I am helping him raise his son on a daily basis. And she knows that we're good to go here.
Now it's thumbs up.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Well, that's awesome. And you guys are making it sound like it's so easy, all of it. But what are the challenges? Because there must be some big ones. Like it can't just be that easy.
The personalities. I mean, you're dealing with 7 different personalities. You know, we pull up somewhere and I'm going to tell you, this is how it goes. Okay, what are we ordering? Everyone's like, this, no pickles, no cheese, this, that. I don't feel like having Burger King. I want Wendy's. Okay, hold up. That's not.
I want Chinese food. I want.
Yes, I want a baked potato. No, we don't have baked potatoes here. You want some onion rings? No. Last week you ordered onion rings. This week you don't like onion rings.
That's just a family of 3. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the challenges we deal with. You know, it's just
it's crazy.
They're fun.
But what about living together, to the both of you living together? Sorry, I cut you off, Mary. Living together, okay. Like there's an adjustment, right? You went from 0 to like, we're living together. Have there been challenges there?
Well, the only challenge was finally having someone to lay next to. Like, damn, I don't want to overcompensate, but then I don't want to not do enough. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want her to feel like I'm smothering. So after the first night, I'm like, oh, you're smothering? I'm smothering too. We're good. You know what I mean? So we kind of, it just meshed, you know? Because when you deal with someone, especially when you're just on the phone, you know, some people that I've dealt with in the past, they might not be as affectionate as I am. And I was always held as a baby. I was always kissed. I was always told I could do everything. I was always shown that affection. So that's how I am. So, I mean, she'll tell you, there's not a minute that I'm not hugging her or hugging one of the kids. If I'm somewhere, I'm hugging somebody. And you know what I mean? I didn't want her to feel like it was overwhelming. Like, damn, this guy just wants to hug me every second.
No, I didn't think that. At the point when he came home, I was so overdue for love, attention, just like any kind of physical touch, a hug, anything like that. So I was totally here for it. I was excited about it. And, you know, I wanted to do the same for him. I missed him.
Now, the only challenge I'm dealing with is that friggin' pregnancy pillow. That's what I'm telling you. The minute the baby comes out, I'm gonna record a video burning that pillow.
He's jealous of the damn pregnancy pillow. It is crazy, but he doesn't understand. Like, I gotta get comfortable, and he just likes to throw a thigh over me.
Is that the mistress in the relationship? The pregnancy
pillow is the wedge between us. Like, literally.
Justine, what advice would you give to a woman who is in a relationship with a man in prison right now?
If that's where you want to be, put your all into it. Don't listen to the outside noise. There's not going to be people that understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. But if you're going to do it and you're going to put yourself in that situation, commit to it, follow through. Don't leave that man or that woman in there hanging. This is not the time for them to feel any more alone than they've already been. And, you know, it takes a lot to be with a person that's in this situation. But if this is what you want to do, stick by it, stick through it. There's going to be something really good that comes out in the end.
Well, so what do you have any advice for sort of making sure they're the right person? Because like we know of a couple really bad situations where they stood by the guy and the guy came out and was not anything like what they thought, right? Where someone from a past season that we were just hearing about. So like how do you know you're with someone who's going to be good, who's going to be safe, who's going to be there for you? Any thoughts on that?
In my experience, and he can tell you the other half of it because he sees the guys on their side, but on my side, you know, pay attention, talk to them, use your time with them wisely, see where their head's at. You know, I had children in the situation. I took my children to see him after a while so they could start building a relationship. So I could see how he looked at my kids, how he interacted with them, if there was any red flags in that area. Because when it comes to the kids, I would have pulled out. If there was something that I didn't seem right with him and my children, I would have pulled out. But, you know, it was all a go. But I do know what you mean because he would have crazy horror stories from the other side of the phone.
Yeah.
So I'll let you.
I mean, because some people are in prison for different things, right? Like it's easy to think, oh, well, this murderer, this rapist would never do it after they got out. Like you don't know. So it depends on the crime, right? Like,
I think so. Because a lot of people, you know, lie about what they've been incarcerated about too. So like, I hear it all the time. I'm on the phone. They be like, hey, you know, is that Juju? Yeah. Yo, ask if she got a friend for me. So then I never did because I don't get down like that. I don't do that shit. But I'd be like, yeah, I got you. And once you walk up, I'm not doing that shit because I don't need that person that I don't really know involved around a person that I'm building something with. So, but that happens a lot. So what ends up happening is these girls start to hook up their friends with all these guys, and the guy that's in there don't even know who that guy is. You understand what I'm saying? They come home, and all of a sudden you hear that this guy beat the girl up, or this guy robbed. One girl was like, "Oh, one of your boy's friend robbed my car for a week, and he hooked me up with him." And I'm like, "What the hell?" But he was in there for Grand Theft Auto. I said, "Bro, he was in there for that." But had she probably known that, she would have. You know what I mean? So it's.
So maybe there's like a do your research component to this too.
On him. I looked him up. I read the articles.
But not only that though, we did have a lot of time to talk.
Yeah.
So when we got on the phone, those are things that we spoke about. Like, yo, this is why I did, and you know, things that I can't get in depth with the world, I was able to get in depth with her.
Yeah.
And like, yo, this is why I was doing what I was doing. This is how I was doing it. This is who was doing it for me. Like. Everything, just being completely transparent because I didn't ever want something to come out and her say, well, you never told me that.
And I didn't like all the stuff that he said. You know, there was some stuff that I was like, oh my gosh, like what? But I had to give him credit. He was being honest. He was being upfront. And from there it was my choice whether I wanted to take it or leave it.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to give her the opportunity to make a decision based on truth. I know I'm changing. I know I'm not coming back home to sell drugs. I know that I'm not doing certain things I used to do with other women. I'm not doing it. So that's just words. But I can tell you that and charm you and come home and then have a dark past you don't know nothing about. People start telling you things. You start thinking, well, damn, I don't know that person. He's never told me that. How do you know about that? So before anyone can go say that to her, I said it. Look, if you ever hear something about me, this is the worst you're going to hear. And becoming completely transparent with her made her become completely transparent with me.
Yeah, because that was stuff I told him that he was probably like, but you know, this is what it is. So
yeah. Whether you're in prison or not, we've all done shit we are really not proud of.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's so many things I don't want anyone to know. Yeah, exactly.
You know what's crazy though? I asked somebody one time. I said, "What's the difference between me going to prison and you not?" The person was like, oh, well, you know, I didn't sell drugs. I said, no, you just haven't got caught. See, you've broken the law.
That's what I'm talking about.
Broken the law.
Exactly.
That's the only difference between me and you.
The difference is they were a better criminal than you.
It was actually my counselor, one of my counselors. Oh, I don't break law. So I said, so what you're telling me is that you drive the speed limit all the time. that you never do this, you always wear your seatbelt. You're telling me you're just the perfect man. And then he said, no. I said, all right, then. So when you go over the speed limit, that's considered breaking the law. So I said, the only difference between me and you, sir, is that you haven't got caught. You know what I mean? So my analogy is, you don't just judge a person by what they've done or what they're going through, because he could be a bigger piece of shit than me, and he's free, and he's a law-abiding citizen, but he treats people like shit. So it doesn't make him any. I don't treat people like that. I mean, would you rather be around a person who's out of jail but he treats you like shit, or be around a guy who just came home that treats you like a queen?
Like a queen.
I go with option B. Thank you.
Option B. Option B.
B. Yeah.
All right, guys, we have a couple of fan questions because I took the opportunity to check in with our followers because the fans love you. I don't know if you realize this, but you're a huge fan favorite. So one of the big questions that they want to know about your baby mama and your baby daddies and whether everybody get along. Like, what's the situations with that?
Okay, I'll start. So I have two fathers to my children. The first one, he was my high school boyfriend, and we had Kylie. We haven't been together in 18 years, but we still remain very good friends. The second one, we were actually married for 10 years, and we have two sons together. Didn't work out. We choose to co-parent. He is financially involved, and he does do good with that. We do live 7 hours apart. He is in Rhode Island, and when we do go down there and visit, he is
always with the kids.
He is with the kids. From the second we roll over the line, he's there to pick them up. He spends time with them. We have a schedule in the summer where he'll take them for a couple weeks, and they'll just have their guide time. As far as it goes with Michael, they have seen each other before, and there was no issue.
No bad blood that
him and I, we've been over for probably about a year before Michael and I met. So around 5 years, we've been pretty much over. So I think that that's been enough healing time, and I think that we're actually at this point growing into a space where I feel like it can be really positive ahead. So,
as for me, my kids' mothers, they're in their own space. They don't want to be friends. They don't want to see what's going on. They want to hear, because believe it or not, they deal with a lot of other stuff that goes on because of the show.
Okay.
And they kind of they don't like the attention. They don't like being on TV. They don't like they just wouldn't be, even if the network reached out to them. They're not doing it because they don't like their privacy being invaded. So with me being on the show, they're kind of like, damn, it leaves the door open for people to scrutinize us now. And I say, listen, every time I get on there, I don't say nothing bad about you guys because you guys are not bad. You guys are not doing anything bad. So there's nothing for me to sit there and talk bad about you guys, because you guys are not cool with Justine doesn't make you bad. I'm not cool with her baby daddies, but we don't have beef.
I think we have like a line.
It's just an understanding
of understanding where there's 7 kids involved. We do what makes it work for the children. If we have to see each other at drop-offs or pickups, we do the best that we can, and we don't let the kids get involved in any kind of adult stuff. So there's a line.
The same thing with me though. The minute we cross the line, my kids are coming with me like this, and there's no problems, there's no issues.
Right.
So I appreciate that.
I think as the 6 adults that are involved with these children, I think that we're all doing a good job. I think that, we're still working out kinks naturally, but I think that there's a lot of positivity coming ahead of us for sure.
Fantastic. So before we have to let you guys go, do you have a message for the fans?
Go ahead, hon.
My message is just, show the world that you could do something positive, man. Stop criticizing so much. Stop opinionating. Stop putting people down. Life is too short. And take it from me, because I just came home. I know what it is to sit behind a wall for 6 years and watch the whole world keep moving and learn to appreciate the things I took for granted. We are very spoiled. We take things for granted on a daily basis. And when they're gone and you can't get them back is when you realize, damn, I should have. So just don't be that person saying, damn, I should have. Be that person saying, I love the fact that I enjoyed every single moment I had with this person or that person, or, even if it's your kids, your moms, your friends, just be better to the world, contribute in a positive way.
And also, Thank you to all the fans, everybody that writes us both. You know, whether you have positive or negative, we still appreciate you.
Everything.
We're glad that you're watching. We hope that you continue to watch and, you know, just continue to support us and our family.
And download my song. It's pretty dope.
And
Oh yeah,
I don't care.
for sure. Download the music.
Please.
I was just
Montana
listening
News,
to
I
it.
don't care.
Yes. No one's gonna look away. You guys you're superstars. Your smiles alone are so magnetic. Like,
thank you.
Big
I want
things
to give
are
a big
coming your
shout out
way.
to WeTV. I want to give a big shout
Yes,
out to Entertainment.
WeTV. Woo! We love that.
And I want to give a shout out to you guys for having us on the show.
Thank you guys so much.
So
Thank you.
I really do
privileged.
appreciate the opportunity to share our story with the world.
For sure.
I'm just saying,
you for
Justine,
joining
don't
us.
go back and watch all of our episodes from the season because I'm just crushing on your husband the whole time.
No, it's okay.
Don't hold it against me.
It lets
Huge
me
crush.
know how lucky I am.
Yes.
No, it's true. She's been making fun of me the whole time, but I think you're
She
wonderful
likes
too.
it.
I do.
She likes it. She looks.
I feel that way too.
Look,
I got a
man, look
pretty
at this guy.
sexy
She thinks
husband,
you're
and I feel
hot.
that same way. Exactly. Oh, you guys are adorable. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I
guys.
really
Thank you so
appreciate
much
you.
for joining us.
Yeah. Best of luck in the upcoming season and with
Thank you,
everything. We can't wait to find out what happens.
Best of luck with the new baby.
So,
Thank you.
I cannot wait.
yay. All right,
wait.
guys. Have a great rest of your
guys.
day.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you too. Enjoy your day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.